Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Oh, I'm just checking up on some schoolwork. A story? Would you like to hear the story of a master's student during a global pandemic? You would? Awesome. I had the perfect one then. Okay. So it is now January of 2020. Amber is fresh out of college, has her bachelor's and her teaching license, but has decided not to start teaching just yet because she wants to work on her master's. And she was able to get a graduate assistantship at Tusculum University. So she's so excited. She's getting some experience in the job force while getting a free education. Life is good in her mindset. She's up in East Tennessee, getting to live in an apartment with her best friend. She's happy. And January was an awesome year. She thinks, man, this is my year. Then February hits. February's not too bad up until the last week. The last week, Amber gets word that her mother is in the hospital and that her mother had to have an emergency surgery due to an infection in her intestines, which Amber knows is a very serious area for her mother. So Amber rushes up to the hospital. She's able to get off work. She is able to still do her schoolwork because her classes are online. So everything kind of works, and she's able to stay there with her mother for a few days up until she gets to go home. And then Amber goes back to East Tennessee. And when she gets back to East Tennessee, she's so happy again because she's like, okay, spring break's in about a week. I have to finish planning what we're doing, because part of Amber's job is that her group of students she works with does an alternate spring break. During this alternate spring break, they go into a different community and they serve. They just work for others and get to know others. And it's such a wonderful experience because they're working on building community. So Amber's so excited. She has planned this awesome trip where her group gets to go to New Orleans. She's already planned some events for them to do down there. Everything is set into motion. But her parents warn her to be careful because there's this virus that they've been hearing about on the news. But Amber's like, oh, it's fine. It ain't going to bother us. We're going to go down there and do what we're supposed to do. So Amber takes her group of students and they go down to New Orleans. And once they get down to New Orleans, the craziest thing happens. A global pandemic. That's right. The coronavirus of 2020 hits full-fledged while Amber has a group of students in one of the larger cities in a different state in America. She's freaked out. She's responsible for 13 student lives, 14 hours from her college, her school, where they're all from, and she's responsible for them, and they have permission to finish out the week there. She cannot stress enough to these students the importance of washing their hands, staying in groups, do not cough or breathe on other people. But they manage to stay the week, and they come back to Tennessee, and Amber is so relieved that none of her students caught the virus. So relieved. Well, now she's back. And her father managed to guilt her into coming home because, in all truth, she knew it was safer to be in a very small town in West Tennessee rather than her large city in East Tennessee that she was currently living in. So she went home. She didn't know what she was going to do there, but she went on home. And she was helping her family. Her sister had a dog that needed to be watched during the daytime. Her mom still wasn't feeling too good about it. There just needed to be extra hands available. So Amber went home to help. Well, the pandemic kind of subsided towards May, so Amber decided, all right, well, I'll go back up to East Tennessee, back to my apartment where I live. And so she does that for 2 weeks. And then her mother goes back into the hospital with the same infection that she had back in February. So Amber goes back. She doesn't get to stay in the hospital with her mother or even get out of her car at the hospital because of this coronavirus. So she has to hand stuff to the nurse outside the building and let the nurse take it up to her mother for her. But Amber goes home to take care of the animals like she had done before. So she's back home working on her schoolwork, kind of struggling because there's not much internet out here. But she's managing life. And then June hits, which is the halfway point of the year. June hits and her mother gets told she has to have surgery again. Luckily this time Amber was already out here and was able to help and take her mom to some of her appointments. But still, being told that your mom has to have surgery 3 times within a year was taking a toll on her. It was putting stress on her schoolwork, stress on her daily life. But she was learning to cope with this. And she managed to cope and finish out the rest of the year. Stay tuned for part 2 of how she finishes her 2020. We're just halfway there.